Only on Fox tonight, startling video captured by Fox 29 investigates. A bus is blowing right through traffic lights all over the city. Jeff Cole is here with a stunning report that already has transportation officials scrambling.
Yes, Jeff. It does. Thomas, SEPTA pays out tens of millions of dollars every year to accident victims. But we want to know if that big chunk of change could be whittled down if some bus drivers got better at riding the brake instead of hitting the gas. They're 40 to 60 feet long. They can weigh more than 30 tons fully loaded. And if one of them hits you or your car, the collision could be deadly. And that's what makes what you're about to see so frightening.
This bus is really going through the red light.
You saw it. That SEPTA bus just blew right through this red light at 4th and Market in Old City, an area usually packed with kids and tourists. This Philly Flash bus also runs a red light.
Right through.
So do these tour buses at Broad and Walnut.
12:15, March 28th.
In fact, we saw buses blowing through red lights and disregarding caution signals all over Philadelphia. And they certainly weren't hard to spot. In fact, every time we pointed our camera at an intersection, we saw at least one bus run a light. Sometimes the lights were red. Other times the lights turned red when the buses were still in the box. Not illegal, but certainly not safe. So, is the public at risk? You decide. Just take a look at what we saw in less than an hour and a half one Friday afternoon right outside our Fox 29 studios at 4th and Market.
That's really blatant.
It's 4:14, and watch as this tour bus ignores the red light on 4th and completely blocks the intersection. At 4:25, a Trolley Works bus doesn't even slow down as it runs the light. 10 minutes later, a SEPTA bus rolls through the intersection as the light turns red. He's going. Now, it's 5:01, and another SEPTA bus crosses 4th as the light changes.
Right through the red light.
At 5:20, this 60-foot SEPTA tandem does the same. Now it's 5:27, and this bus doesn't even slow down as it hits the box. A minute later, neither does this Greyhound. And at 5:38, another SEPTA tandem rolls across 4th as the light changes to red.
Certainly they're not doing what they're trained to do.
We showed some of our surveillance tape to SEPTA official Mike Liberi. He says drivers go through a comprehensive training program.
It's a good decision.
They have a double parked car.
That includes getting behind the wheel of this simulator. He says some of the drivers we caught on tape were making serious mistakes. In fact, in 2011, red light cameras caught 145 drivers running red lights. Not acceptable, Liberi says. But he points out SEPTA drivers logged more than 71 million miles last year. Even so,
that in no way condones the operator going through a red light or through a yellow light that's changing. They should have their vehicle under control, and we'll certainly take every action we possibly can to prevent a recurrence.
When I heard bam, boom, the brakes on the bus went. You know, she applied the brakes.
82-year-old L.V. Hill knows what it's like to be on a bus when the driver has to stop quickly. A couple of years ago, a SEPTA driver hit the brakes trying to avoid a taxi, and Hill was thrown against a metal and plastic support. He was seriously injured and is now suing SEPTA.
I think drivers need to understand that and really appreciate that they have 50 souls in their hands every trip they take.
Dean Weitzman is L.V. Hill's attorney. He says accidents happen and people get hurt when buses try to beat red lights or cheat stop signs.
If everybody's not seated and prepared for that, you're going to find people that are being thrown from their seats. That's what happened with L.V. Hill.
And he's suing, and SEPTA has no comment on that lawsuit at this point. But here we go. A spokesperson for Philly Flash tells us he didn't believe the trolley that we showed you ran a red light. He said once drivers hit the crosswalk, they cannot stop. He says the company currently possesses the highest safety rating in the industry, and Philly Flash is always focused on safety. Greyhound says the safety and security of its passengers is its top priority, and they take issues regarding safety very seriously. Dillon's bus service did not return our call And we got results from SEPTA. In a strongly worded notice, it warned drivers anyone caught running a red light would be held accountable and subject to action. This, my friends, this is the letter delivered earlier this week by SEPTA to all drivers. If you have a SEPTA story for us, go to #Fox29 and tell us all about it. This notice given to every driver in their system, surface drivers, saying, friends, you cannot run red lights.
And it's not just the passengers, it's the pedestrians, too.
Oh,
they don't stand a chance if they're hit by one of those.
Not in front of a bus.
Yeah.
And as we
the
said,
wording right there, serious safety concerns running a red light. Let's hope they abide by it.
And as we said, you know, SEPTA pays out tens of millions of dollars a year in accidents. So, you know, it's a hard gig. Obviously, it's hard to drive a bus. People do get in the way. People do cut you off, as I found out with that simulator.
Yeah.
But you got to be careful around intersections.